Alright, Wayne Tuttle Legend Superstition Mountains. Kind of walking in here towards the cabin, give everyone a bit of a look around here, what it was like. This was the place Albert Schaeffer, partner John Beggs, were in the final days of their life. Their mine is actually, there were two mines here. The first one is right behind this tree. It caved in. This rock face here collapsed and buried everything in here. No one's excavated it out. After doing samples and checking the area, we didn't find, Greg Davis, myself, and Randy Wright came out. We didn't find any samples, anything that would make us want to dig the mine out. Possibly something we'd want to do in the future. But this is where they were working, and like I said, a short distance away, right behind that tree. This is the cabin. This is where Schaeffer and John Beggs spent their end of their life. Being a bit cautious here, the area is full of Mojaves. You can see the structure is just about ready to give. It's been pretty poor shape. It's always fascinating to me to come into places like this and kind of think of the history. Definitely with Schaeffer, someone attached to the Lost Dutchman legend and one of the early searchers, and that he spent his final days here. It brings a different perspective into things, the prospecting. You can tell things have been torn up a bit. It's beginning to lean in here, so it's probably just seeing about the last of its days. But definitely early mining history. Beggs and Schaeffer came out here, had two mines. The mine I was talking about earlier, which is a tunnel going back into this hillside. There was another pit mine a short distance away. The pit mine has been filled in by a rancher. He was worried about his grandchildren falling in. So shortly before I came out and located these premises, he had actually backfilled it in. And it had an old wooden ladder leading into it, and I missed that opportunity. And so we'll never know what was exactly going on with that mine. But definitely it's held up, withstood the test of time. Definitely going on, getting closer to 100 years old, and a location out here in central Arizona. Obvious, if you know your Dutch history, we're out along the Hassayampa River. His mining claim papers are still there on file with Maricopa County. So while it's hard to pinpoint the exact location, and I'll discuss a little of my research on that, definitely here. It is along the Hassayampa, which there's a good chance Jacob Waltz was in this area as he traveled from Prescott and made his way to settle in Phoenix in 1868. So there's a good chance he was in this area, but I found no relation between Waltz's Lost Dutchman Mine story and Schaeffer's coming out here to set up. He did arrive here with John Beggs shortly after Julia Thomas's death and her probate and will was finished. That was circa about 1919, so it appears 1919, 1920 is when the two gentlemen came out here and built this structure, brought their team of horses, and began their mining up in this locale. Like I said, those claims are a matter of public record, as are the wills and the probates for both these gentlemen. We'll follow up, something more interesting, a couple more angles I'll get to. Definitely an interesting history of the Lost Dutchman Mine.